Welcome to Genua, powered by Trust AI Partners, where we dive into the cutting edge of tech innovation. Join us as we explore how AI automation is transforming the industry. If you're ready to discover the future of AI innovation and how your company can get ahead, stay tuned and connect with us for more information. I'm your host, Jim Hoover, and joining us today is Gonzalez, who runs a Valor's Veterans Community in Arizona, dedicated to connecting veterans with veteran resources. They bring vets together through sporting events, concerts, volunteering, and community meetups, building relationships and visibility for resources across the Phoenix Metro. They previously hosted a rotating monthly Veterans Resource Breakfast and continue to grow a veteran civilian community locally. Explore events and resources at Valor's Veterans Community AZ.org. Welcome to the show, Ro. Excited to dig into your journey and what's working in veteran-focused nonprofit leadership. For those just meeting you, could you introduce yourself, share how Valor's Veterans Community got started, and the mission you're driving today?
Thank you for the invite, Jim. Appreciate it. Number one, Marine Corps vet, 87 to 91. I founded my organization in 2018. And pretty much what it is to connect veterans with veterans and resources. Pretty much not using the VA or not being aware of what's out there for veterans when you're going through your struggles and stuff like that. I kind of like figured out that volunteering with other organizations, there's this piece missing where who's actually putting connecting the dots and who's able to, if you don't do it, do you know someone that does? And being able to connect veterans with the resource that they actually need is helps them, number one, relieve that anxiety and that stress that you get a phone number and then you get, you're calling and you're put on hold, or you never get a hold of anyone and stuff like that. So now you're back to square one, and it's so frustrating and stuff like that. So bringing that awareness and being able to, hopefully cut down on the suicide rate, being able to have that one resource in the community that be like, you know what, it's going to be all right, man. We'll figure it out. Let's get you connected with the right resource.
What's a recent moment from an event or meetup that reminded you why you do this work?
You know what? Every month I do a coffee connections the last Wednesday of every month, and what it is, it's bringing veteran nonprofit and community partners together, number one, but number two is to put a face with an organization so they're more likely to reach out to one another. So everybody has to bring their digital card, their business card, and number one, they have to give everybody in the room one of their cards, whether it's a digital card or business card, because at the end of the day, when they call me 2 3 days later, 2 3 weeks later, yeah, you remember so and so, and I'm like, man, I ain't got time to answer phone calls like this. I need to get you. That's why I told you to grab that person's business card, digital card, so you can put it in your Rolodex, because it's mandatory. That have that resource in there, because you never know when you might need it, even though you might not do what that veteran's looking for, but you're like, oh, you know what? I got somebody that I just talked to last month or month before. Let me connect you with that resource.
I see. And so, thinking about the ideal member or participant who might be a supporter, for example, a donor, a sponsor, a partner, uh, what does that ideal supporter look like? And what signals tell you that they're a great fit?
Number one, any sponsors or donors, I have them, number one, come volunteer with us and come and see what we're doing. That way they understand what we're doing, what the mission is about, and they see it firsthand, so they know where every penny that they're spending or donating to us is going. Because that speaks way more volumes than somebody that just cuts a check. I'm not looking for somebody that just cuts a check. I want somebody to have the impact of seeing what it's like to go visit a veteran at his home, at a park, and connect with that veteran and peel back the layers on trying to figure out how and how we can help that veteran out, not just temporary, but for the long run, because I don't look to just put a band-aid on the situation. If somebody's homeless, why are they homeless? Are they lacking education? Are they lacking, their job? What kind of job did they have? I push veterans more towards trades than jobs, just because trades is you're going to make way more money. You're going to be able to afford to go on vacation. You're going to be able to go, Disneyland with your kids and stuff like that. So my ultimate goal is how do we make this veteran successful, not just temporary, but in the long run.
And so, thinking about uh, scaling the organization, what's the number one constraint today?
Number one constraint is pretty much I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink it. Some of the veterans nowadays, they're always looking for 100% disability pay, which means pretty much $4,000 a month. And if you figure that over a year, that's $48,000. $48,000 isn't much, because especially now my kids are grown. So I have myself and two dogs to support. $48,000 is good for somebody like me, but what about that person that has one, two, three, four, five mouths to feed? Besides the car payment, besides the mortgage and all that stuff, $48,000 isn't nothing. You know, my thing is just because you get that $4,000 every month, guess what? You need to get a real job and use that $4,000 as supplement, as whether either you're throwing it in the bank, saving it, or you're investing it, or whatever you're doing with it, and work a real job. Everybody thinks, not everybody, certain veterans think that being 100% disabled, they got it made and stuff like that. But in reality, they don't realize once you sit down with them and show them what a budget looks like, because a lot of them, they do not know how to manage their money. And that's why they wind up in the situation that they're in.
So, is part of your immediate needs to focus on increasing the funding through different partners? That way, you're able to provide more resources for the vets beyond what they're getting from disability?
Correct. And not just funding. The other thing is we tell them, oh, sorry about that.
Sure, no problem.
Um, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
You were saying there's not only a need for more funding and partners and support, but
Oh,
other
yeah.
things.
My thing is, we don't take government grants. We don't do it. We don't, rely on any of that funding, just because the simple fact is just the situation that's going on now with, government cutting costs on this and that and all this other stuff. So we're mainly funded through the community, whether it's somebody hosting an event, fundraiser, or finding that corporate sponsor or donor that will supply either um, items, whether it's food, clothes, shoes, that sort of deal, besides monetary funding.
Have you tried anything with digital outreach?
Really, it's not as much as I should, just because of the simple fact that we're volunteer based, so we don't have any salary. So every penny we get goes towards our veterans.
I see. And how about in terms of there a lot of the big tech companies like Google, Meta provide ad based grant programs for
Correct.
organizations like yourself. Have you
Correct.
looked into that and explored it?
We did use that when we first started, so that actually helped us out when we first started.
Okay, but it's
But
not something.
that was 7 years ago.
Okay, and so it sounds like the the manpower, the volunteer power that you have today is mainly the main reason why you're not continuing those ad placement programs.
Correct.
I see. Okay. Any other forms of outreach besides what you mentioned so far?
I'm sorry, I take that back. So digital wise,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, and Instagram
Uh
are
huh.
two of the most powerful tools out there. Facebook, not so much. Facebook is mainly more for, your friends and stuff like that. But Instagram and LinkedIn, whether it donors, corporate sponsors, that's where
Mm-hmm.
it's at.
Okay. So you're still able to generate funding through those social platforms.
Yes,
I see.
definitely. Pepsi, Verizon, Wells Fargo, all those type of companies that have donated to us in the past years
Okay.
and still have
Uh,
that relationship.
what metrics are you paying attention to the most that are proving an impact on a weekly, monthly basis?
Actually, the messages that you get from LinkedIn and Instagram, and sitting down and talking to them, to whoever it is that you might connect with and stuff. Sitting that face to face, because I do a lot of face to face more than just email or phone call type deal, just because I want to be able to read body language and stuff like that. Um, and it's proven to help for me, just because the simple fact I'm real big on the vibe of the person. If I see somebody that isn't, like paying attention or is looking away, just going through the flow and stuff like that, I'm like, thank you, but no thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
see, or if they're definitely just about the dollar, and because everybody says they want to help veterans and stuff like that, prove it to me. And that's whether it's donating, something major, whether you're a real lender, a real estate person, donate something that's going to actually help you, say, just like you say, marketing and advertising, donating the house to a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to put you on the map, number one. But as soon as I bring up something like that, or something major like a car or something of more significant value that will actually help that veteran succeed, crickets. They disappear on you and stuff like that, never get a reply back.
That's unfortunate. How do you prioritize monthly spend across events versus operations, technology, marketing? What's the current monthly or annual budget envelope you're operating within?
Roughly 150,000 a year. Um, and that's mainly more towards veterans. Probably 5 to 10 grand is towards marketing, ball give or take, and then operation, costs, gas, fuel, all that kind of stuff. Maybe another 5 grand, so about 15 to 20 grand actually goes towards necessities to keep us up and running, to keep our truck running, to pick up donations, drop off donations and stuff like that, and marketing, because you always need to spend, um, you know advertisement on literature and stuff like that, just because like I do a lot of I work with a lot of the veterans from the VA, from DAV, from the American Legion and stuff like that, leaving my information at their locations. That helps us connect with a lot of the veterans that are actually in need, besides doing the coffee connections that we do every month.
Okay. And when you think about the different parts of operations, all the different moving parts to get the veterans what they need and connect them with those resources, which part of that process are you dealing with operational bottlenecks or things that you know in the back of your mind could be a lot more efficient?
um the one good thing is we're mobile. So we don't have a brick and mortar where we're spending, we have rent to pay every month, we have electricity to pay every month and stuff like that. So we can meet at a Starbucks, we can meet at their home, we can meet at the park. So there's different venues that we use. A lot of them are donated as well when we do like big events and stuff like that. So being part of the Veteran Commission here in Tempe, Arizona, that helps out with being able to use the library and stuff like that whenever we want to do workshops, seminars, and stuff like that, as well as some of the community partners that we get to use their location, their conference rooms, and stuff like that, as well as some of those rent by the hour places.
I see. Okay. So, looking forward, what specific outcomes are you targeting over the next 6 to 12 months?
Um, well, the next 3 months are definitely going to be veterans in during the holidays and stuff like that. That's when this is our busy time of year. Actually, right now is we're ramping up the toy drive for Christmas, as well as this year we're also doing shoes as well as clothes for kids. We do our back to school back in August. Um, so being able to and as well year round where we work with certain companies that are able to supply suits, shoes for our veterans to get interviews and go to job interviews, getting them prepped, doing mock drafts and stuff like that. So there's community partners that I work with for that that will supply that for us.
I see. And so, how do you differentiate or collaborate with other veteran serving nonprofits in Arizona?
The one good thing is we're able to find the veterans for the other nonprofits that are more how would you say it, they have a specific service that they have, say job placement and stuff like that. So we'll find the veterans that are looking for jobs, for careers and stuff like that. So we'll send them, say, to Goodwill Vet Center to do their prep, get them prepped up for the mock drafts, getting their resume put together and stuff like that. Or we'll connect them with DAV if they need to do their disability claim and stuff like that. So depending on what the veterans need is, um, we will connect them with who, whether it's the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, DAV, the American Legion, stuff like that, depending on what the cost is. If it's way out of our budget, because we can take care of certain minor costs like um, oil change, bus passes, stuff like that we can supply, as well as furniture that's donated to us to be able to give it to veterans that are moving into their new apartments that might not have a bed, might not have a refrigerator, dining table, and stuff like that.
Was there any other topics that you wanted to bring up related to the organization or otherwise?
Mainly let veterans know that, do not hesitate to reach out to um, the VSOs that are out there, the veteran service organizations out there, the DAVs, the American Legions, the VFWs, the Wounded Warrior. You know, don't ever think that what you're going through, especially if you're struggling, that there isn't somebody else that's out there struggling as well or has gone through it. Now I understand why I went through all the trials and tribulations in my life, being a business owner, being married, divorced, um, turning to drugs and alcohol after I got divorced. There isn't a situation that a veteran's gone through that I haven't gone through myself. So when I connect with these guys and girls, and letting them know my story and being able to connect with them and letting them know that, what, if I've been able to come through it and this is what I started, you can get through it, because there isn't any situation out there that is worth taking your life thinking that you're the only one that's going through this and there's nobody out there that can understand or can help. You'd be surprised how many people will be willing to help you, civilian or veteran, on all you. But the main thing is you have to ask for the help, because I know for a long time it took me, months, if not years, to realize that, what, I started slipping once I got diagnosed with TBI and PTS, and I've been living with that for so long that I didn't even realize I had it until my kids were the ones who actually told me, "Dad, you know what? You need to go to get checked out. You were in the Marine Corps. You should go to the VA, go use the VA and stuff like that. So it took my kids making me realize that I needed to reach out for help and figure out what was going on with me.
Ro, thank you for sharing your journey and impact. The impact with Valor's Veterans Community AZ is making by connecting veterans to each other and to resources. For listeners who want to get involved or attend an event, visit Valor's Veterans Community AZ.org. If this conversation resonated, follow Trust AI Partners for more episodes on leadership, impact, and growth. I'm Jim Hoover. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one. And thanks again, Ro, for joining us today and the mission as a whole.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.